Jonah and David Miller had been married for a long time, but already David was returning home from work late. This left Jonah feeling lonely and insecure, stuck in the house alone with their baby girl. Were they not enough for David anymore? Was he more interested in work, or was it something else? Then one day, Jonah took a closer look at his clothes while she was doing the family laundry. And what they revealed about her husband's late nights changed her entire outlook on their lives together.
Hello, story lovers. I'm Jamie Buck, and here is...
This woman's husband was always coming home late. Then one day she took a close look at his clothes.
Before we move on, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and activate the notifications bell for new amazing videos.
Jonah Miller and her husband David, both 20-somethings from Leesburg, Indiana, first started dating in October 2012. In November the following year, over Thanksgiving dinner, the couple got engaged. Jonah gave birth to a daughter, Delaney, in February 2014, and the couple got married in May 2015. Yes, they crammed a lot into just 2.5 years. Jonah actually grew up in small-town Indiana, where, by her own account, she spent most of her free time telling bad jokes and creating awkward situations. Her childhood, therefore, prepared her perfectly for a life of creating videos and blog content full of sarcasm and humor. Indeed, many may know Jonah better by her social media name, the Blunt Blonde. In her Twitter introduction, Jonah jests, "People think I'm always joking, but I'm not. I'm genuinely an unpleasant person and hate everyone equally." Her husband's childhood experiences, on the other hand, were very different to Jonah's. You see, David grew up in the Amish community. This hardline Swiss-German religious sect favors plain living and eschews modern technology. However, his wife writes on her blog that David has become well-adjusted to his new English lifestyle. Despite this, Jonah found enough amusement in the Amish quirks David has retained to write a blog post about them on the Blunt blog. The piece was entitled, "You Can Take a Man Out of the Amish, But..." These days, David works at a nearby RV dealership, while Jonah is a stay-at-home mom and blogger. The blog, then, is home to much of Jonah's musings on her married life with David. For instance, Jonah has conceded that her husband works very hard and is often home later than he had planned. Jonah has admitted that this sadly leaves her feeling isolated and conflicted. In December 2015, she told her blog readers all about it. She wrote, "I'm married to a hardworking man, and I would be lying if I said that it didn't take its toll on me. Sometimes he'll come home after a long day at work, and I'll be waiting for him to walk in the door, and I can yell, 'You promised me that you'll be home at 5,' as if he would rather be working than spending time with me and our daughter." She added, "I'm putting him on a lose-lose situation. He literally can't win. If he doesn't work late, we won't get the new furniture set that I must have. If he works later, he comes home to a nagging wife who is desperate for his attention," she continued. "I'm so selfish in our marriage, and I know that, but every once in a while I'll have my little aha moment, and it gives me a sense of understanding." One such moment occurred for Jonah on a Wednesday evening when, once again, David was working late. She had put his dinner to keep in the fridge for his eventual return and was playing with Delaney on the floor. But while Jonah and Delaney looked at books and played with some dolls, Jonah's mind was working overtime. She was thinking, of course, about how she could most likely erupt with an emotional explosion when her husband finally got home. David still hadn't returned by the time Jonah heard the clothes dryer finish its cycle. So Jonah opted to fold the warm clothes as a way of cooling down her emotions. But as she took the garments out of the dryer, she was still thinking of David's absence. She explained in her blog post that she began wondering, "Why does he not want to spend time with me? We're newlyweds. Aren't we supposed to be in the honeymoon stage?" Soon, however, she had formed 2 piles of folded laundry. She had put her clothes in one pile and his in another, ready to put away in their closets. But it wasn't only then that Jonah noticed something about David's pile. It was a simple observation that until that moment she had completely missed. Then it hit her. What was this attitude-shifting revelation? Jonah told her readers her thinking. She asked, "Why did my clothes look so vibrant, clean, and new? His were dingy, stained, and torn." It was only then that she realized the full extent of the sacrifice her husband was making for her. She explained, This man provided more than I deserve. If I tell him I want something, very seldom will he tell me no." Jonah then added that this realization made her feel incredibly guilty. She was allowing her husband to treat her to nice outfits, while he made do with the shabby and tired clothing. And to compound this, she was feeling aggrieved by his absence because he was out earning so that she could do just that. Jonah wrote, "I get spoiled with the fruits of his labor, and he's okay with a pair of torn boxer briefs. I was acting as if he was out partying with his friends, but his laundry told a completely different story." This led Jonah to reflect that it wasn't just her husband's clothes that had taken the brunt of all that hard work. No, David himself was becoming mentally and physically torn and frayed by his job. His hands were now rough, blistered, and cracked. Not only this, but he would often miss out on dinner and go to bed early because he was so fatigued from his long and arduous day of labor. Nonetheless, Jonah disclosed the fact that David didn't seem to mind all the late nights. She told her followers his heart is full when he walks in through the door and our daughter runs to him excitedly yelling, "Dada!" His dreams have come true of being able to be a man and provide for his family. He is everything he has ever wanted in life. Thanks to this revelation, a thankful Jonah promised herself to strive to be a better wife. She would try to no longer get mad when her husband was late home from work. Instead, she would remember the sacrifices David was making, both for her and their daughter. She wrote, "Sure, I miss him, and I want to spend time with him throughout the week, but I've realized he's offering me the most beautiful form of love there is. He works so his wife and daughter don't go without, even though there are times I'm sure he does." And Jonah had some advice for other wives and partners who found that they felt lonely while their other halves were out at work. Indeed, she concluded her blog post with a suggestion for a fresh way of thinking about the problem. Jonah summed up, "If you have a hard-working man in your life and you can't comprehend how much he loves you, do his laundry." While not everyone reading Jonah's blog could relate to this laundry story, there were plenty for whom it struck a real chord. One such reader left a comment below the article claiming that it brought it all back home. She said, "This is an amazing reminder. I used to stay home with our daughters when they were little, and I used to feel horrible doing the same thing. This is an awesome perspective to carry." As for Jonah, she continued to compose blogs for her website, The Real Blunt Blonde. Many of the entries are, unsurprisingly, about aspects of her family life. Due to the interest lots of people seem to have with the Amish culture, many of Jonah's pieces also discuss David's background. One blog post, "I'm not Amish, but my husband is," talks about how she met David and was then introduced to his parents. It also pokes fun at some of the misconceptions she's entertained about the Amish before she got to know them.
Did you like the story? Check out our channel for more.